When Women Speak.
And New Jersey Poetry Events presents
When People Speak.
Poetry and conversation with pop-up poetry guests. Your host will be Amira Shabazz Bilal.
And your co-host, James C. Ellerby.
Welcome to When We Speak, episode 10. I'm up there jamming to the beat. And this is our special Women's History celebration. And we have a dynamic lineup. And as always, my co-host is actually playing feature tonight, but she's definitely going to hang in and help a brother out. But I'm going to just go in. We're going to start this show immediately because we have a jam-packed show of dynamic, all-women poets. And I like to call them the Avengers of poetry. And trust me, they're definitely going to save the day for this program. So I'm going to start it off, and then I'm just going to let the women control the show. Because this is their show, this is their month, but honestly, Women's History is every month. We must honor our women. So I'm going to start off with a piece fitting for this show, and it's called Tiffany's Apology.
Okay.
It was the early 90s, the evolution of hip hop, the house parties, the teenage oversexed bodies, grinding on dance floors, waiting for the after party score, touching girls' booties was in. Generation X's original sin. I was 13 years old when I got the taste knocked out of my mouth. A suitable punishment for a little punk persuaded by even bigger punks to sip out of the chalice of peer pressure. Deserved every pressure to my face for even thinking of placing my teenage hands in a place without no invitation to the party. No part of Tiffany's body requested my filthy hands. No part of her dreams asked to be sexually assaulted. Revolting how toxic masculinity can be conceived in most adolescent boys. Society develops sexual aggression on a conveyor belt, watching our innocence melt as we chose to fit in. Not so innocent boys, only to grow up as hyper-masculine men. So when does the assault on women end? As soon as all men, let me say that again, as soon as all men learn a woman's worth doesn't begin at her form, but how she was formed. What are her dreams? What are her morals? What principles are principal in her life? What matters most to her, even when most men nowadays don't think most of her? It pains me to realize now that I never thought of her. Tiffany is another woman's daughter. Tiffany is someone's future mother. Tiffany might be a wife in this life. And like many young boys and men, we desecrate that right. Us men have an obligation to make our wrongs right. And women have been waiting far too long. Just like they had to wait until 1920 for the right to vote. Just like they had to cope with being raped by Massa, now she hides her shame of rape because our toxic masculinity masks her. Then we use our sexual aggression to self-serve our narcissistic appetite and rationalize our inhumanity and vanity like we gave her the master key to her livelihood. It's time It's time that we bring her back. We played with her treasures long enough, like she's some Lego toy. Then we leave her value on the floor like she belonged there. When she is a centerpiece to be placed in a gold-plated case with a display light to shine like the gold caps on top of the Great Pyramids. All she did was show us how to be great again. Unfortunately, our gratitude is late again. It's obvious we need to bring her back again. It is said that a nation cannot rise no higher than its women, so this country was never great. So how in the hell can we be great again? We have to love women. We have to stop being greedy and give the same pay for the same work to who? Women. I reflect on Tiffany, too young to be introduced to a world that makes too many excuses to abuse young women like her. Too many women emotionally scarred by our emotionally scarred boys masquerading as gentle men. I pray that they repent for their sins before the hellfire rains down on them. Tiffany, you have every right not to accept my apology, but let my words be the beginning of a work that will never end. Tiffany's apology.
Wow, James, what a tribute to women. Yes, then clap it up, everybody. When a man steps forward and tells the truth for women, and we know that this gentleman has the back of every woman out there, his wife down to every woman on the platform. He speaks respectfully about them. He tells the history, and even in his hour of being wrong at times, he comes forth with apologies. That poem is a masterpiece. Can you tell me what the premise was? What made you write that poem? Where's that poem coming from?
I wanted to address the misogyny, the abuse that women face by us men. I felt that not enough male voices are talking about it, and I felt like I had to speak up more. I wasn't speaking enough about it. So that's where it came from. And it is, I changed the name, obviously, out of respect for the individual, but that, the events did happen. And it's one of the things that I regret to this day, but it's now my mission and my commission to speak out about it and also speak to, young men that I see that are committing the same things that I did as a young, child. So that's where that came from.
Absolutely. And it's always good to hear those words from a man. So I'm going to tell you that I appreciate you. I salute you. And ladies and gentlemen out there in Facebook land, this is the March edition, the When People Speak March edition in women's history. I am not the host this evening, and I'm getting off of this platform. I'm just wanting to say what I had to say about my co-host's poem this evening, and also he opened up the show. He didn't even give me a chance to say hello to you all out there. So I'm leaving. It's his show tonight. James, take it away.
Yes. And we're definitely going to start it off right with this poet. This is her first time actually appearing on our show, but trust me, she is no stranger to the words. And I'm going to bring up at this time the one and only Crystal Letters.
Hi, James.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me, and hello to Amira in the background.
She's still hanging out. She's still with us. Want to give you your flowers before I turn over the stage to you and let the people know who this wonderful poet is. Crystal Davis is a multidisciplinary and mixed media performance artist, poet, painter, freelance writer, editor, and social media marketer. She was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, and is the author and creator at Crystal Letters, that's CL, and the co-founder and co-producer of Open Road Poetry, ORP, an artistic partnership between CL and Rescue Poetics, TM. Her art and writing projects, CL and ORP, have collaborated with arts nonprofit organization and artists across the tri-state area, nationally and internationally. Her work is inspired by nature, color, and the utilization of practical craft through art, individual, and written form. So help me welcome to our virtual stage, Crystal Letters. I'm going to sit in the background while you do your thing. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, James. Let me ask you something. But before that, envision this. No. I want you to do this. Raise your right forearm and feel the warmth that radiates from the soft, patchy flesh of skin on your wrist. And look at the blue veins that are beneath your skin. I want you to see the roots that are the systems of your veins and imagine how they fan out through your body, growing within you like a tree, connecting you to your eyes and your heart and your lungs and the soles of your feet. And press your index finger to your wrist center and feel the rhythm of your own heartbeat. When you've bumped your knees, do your knees ache? When you've stubbed your toes, do your toes swell at the pain? And when you bruise, what color is it? Do you bruise black? Is it purple? Is it blue? It shouldn't matter what your sex, your gender, or your creed is, because your life shouldn't depend on your economic standing or your education or your spirituality or your guts or your gall. What should really matter is that you're human, just like you, like your mother and your father and those who came before you and those who will soon come after you. Express your truth. Because you too, when hurt, you feel the pain of a hurtful memory and you see the sadness in your own eyes. You experience, to some extent, the same common pains that someone like me or you would experience. Remember, express your truth. And in your stress, when your shoulders are weak and heavy and the tension gives you hell, when the weight of your shoulders ache after carrying heavy boxes, and when you cry out of pleasure and of pain through birth and death, when you are injured and you bleed, I want you to understand that just like me, you too are human. And when you've been cut, I want you to see the shade that comes from your skin. Is it cinnabar, a luscious red-brown as you watch it oxidize against your own skin? You and I both know the answer all too well. Does the blood pool at your skin, in the folds and the bends of your flesh? Let this be another reminder to express your truth. You are entitled to experience true beauty, true kindness, and true compassion and empathy in oneself and in one another. And you are beauty and kindness and compassion in the shape of man and woman and all those who have felt left out. And this, once again, is that gentle reminder to constantly and always express your truth. And remember that at the end of the day, you are only human. It is what it is. This is called natural silence. So it was inspired by the natural silence that we find at night. It's night, and you see the ghostly curtain flow from midnight wind, crickets serenade under indigo blue skies. The fragrance of rain brings swirls of memory. A cratered moon basks in a full bed of fluffy clouds. Within lilac nightfall, moonlight reflects across still waters. Winds slowly caress dewy forest green grass, gently brushing over tree branches and shrubbery. Hidden rainy days are a reminder of natural silence. You are presently surprised by the rustling of leaves, and you are embraced tenderly amongst warm cushion and fleece. And my last piece is dedicated to my little moon man. He was my best cat friend, and he passed away recently. So this is called Afterlife to my moon man. The day after you died, I became friends with a housefly. He came buzzing by, singing in my ear, but not as a menace or an annoyance. A child whispering, running, giggling at every point I turned. Grief was in our DNA. The day after you died, I watched the pain drain from the eyes of others, questioning why you'd gone. My little moon man, my little feline friend, one in the same with the sun and the stars. And that's it for me. Thank you, thank you.
Wow. A lot of imagery in your pieces. I love it. Yeah, you got the chat blowing up. Love this imagery. Lilac, nightfall. I love that line too.
That's one of my favorite ones too.
Just a lot of vividness in the pictures that you paint. Definitely can tell that you're a visual artist as well, at heart and through the soul. Thank you so much for being a part of for your first When People Speak. Tell us like how long you've been writing poetry and performing for different venues and so forth.
I've been writing poetry probably as far back as I can remember. I think like 5 or 6 years old. I started writing like little haikus for my grandma, just to like, hey, look what I can do. And I didn't really find my passion for poetry until I was in high school, and I was kind of caught in between both worlds. I wanted to pursue my love of the arts, but I also wanted to write at the same time. So I started combining my canvases, and I would put poetry within the background of the canvases. So then that way, when people would look at my work, they would see that it's more than just a visual story. Like there's a storytelling behind it. So I wanted to just be able to represent both of those worlds, and that's what I'm doing now.
That's so dynamic in terms of being able to utilize two eyes, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Definitely a force, a force. I love your poetry. Just love your you have your own flow. You're not trying to sound or be like anyone, and that's one of the things that Amir and myself are proud to have an environment where we have so many different voices, and definitely appreciate your voice. Thank you for being a part of this, your first When People Speak.
Thank you for having me.
Your last, definitely. So you can hang out. We might bring you up later on to interact with some of the other poets as well. But thanks again.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. That was Crystal Letters. Oh, I forgot while we were talking, I want to throw up her where you can contact Crystal Letters. She has her own website. Check it out at www.crystalletters.com, or you can reach her via email, crystallettersofficial@gmail.com, and on Instagram, Crystal Letters Official. So definitely support her work, because she's definitely doing some very beautiful things. So check her out. Support the artist always, always. So we're gonna keep the show going, and I'm gonna bring up a person that I have known for a while in poetry. Um, she had her own venue in Jersey City, and I frequent that venue uh, a lot of times back in the day, and it definitely was a treasure to me when I was coming back on the scene and trying to, get my feet wet again. But I'm gonna bring up at this time Dujuana Sharese. How you doing, sis?
What's going on? How are you? Oh,
Good.
can you hear me now?
Hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for having me on to celebrate Women's Month. It's
Definitely,
beautiful.
definitely. Couldn't look. I had to, and the people have to hear you. But I want to give you your flowers first, before I give you the stage.
Please, I haven't had flowers in years. Thank you. I appreciate that.
These are flowers you created.
Ooh. Little seedlings. Good.
Dujuana Sharese, an explosive spoken word artist, workshop facilitator, content creator, podcaster, voiceover actor, master of ceremonies, and performer who has the ability to tantalize with her comedic truth and vibrant energy. For more doses of Dujuana, visit DujuanaSharese.com. And I'm gonna leave the stage and let you do what you do. So I'll hang out for a little bit, but the stage is all yours.
All right. Thank you. All right, everybody. What is going on? Today, it is good to see you. Thank you for allowing me into your living rooms. Thank you for allowing me into this beautiful space. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say I'm honored to have been um, asked to come here to do poetry to celebrate Women's Month because I am woman, all of me. I am woman through everything in life. Um, I had stayed afloat in so many avenues where I was supposed to be counted out. I was supposed to be strong when the only thing I could do is cry. I could move through things. I've been thrown under aggression, under the bed of aggression. I've been thrown on a bed with aggression. I am woman who has moved through so many trials and tribulations, and I found out that through all the talking to and criminalizing that they did of me because I am black and I am woman. They have thrown me under buses. They have rolled me over, but I am here today with you. And to celebrate Women's Month, I decided not to wear a bra. Word up. Okay, so I just figured I would share that with y'all. I figured I would share that with y'all. And I found out through all the adversity that I've been through because I am black, I am a woman, and I am gay. They did it only because I didn't know who I was. And I found out that I had all my millions locked up into a vault. That vault is my spirit. That spirit gives joy. That joy gives light. And I'm going to offer that to you today. The piece that I wanted to do for you all is the piece where we as Black people have been invisible to some, but let alone we've been right there. Have you ever went to find something? I don't know, anything random. You open up the refrigerator, you say, I can't find the orange juice. I can't find the chocolate milk. I can't find the ketchup if y'all put it in a refrigerator. I can't find it, but it was right there. right there of value to you, but you kept looking over it, you kept looking behind it, you kept looking through it, but you didn't see it. And that is how we are treated. We are here, but we are looked over, looked around, and looked under until the events happen. Please understand that we are ministers of mighty energies, mothers and mom dukes, misters, majestic men of melanin, women of wisdom, teachers, Buddha chanter believers, dudes, dames, lovers of likes, clicks, and fame. We are janitors, facilitators, rhythm beat builders, architects, cashiers, barbers, stylists. We are coordinators and web designers. We be those freedom fighters, Cash App consultants, and zombie loving mutants. We are titans and bricklayers and hustlers and autobiography makers. We are riders and we are riders. But we tired of dying. See, our sacrificial brothers have been feeding the concrete, just feeding the concrete. Death by blue hands led and filled generation gaps of struggles and defeat. We are recycling wizardry, kung fu, tai chi, black master. They cannot rewrite our history. They have chased our peace from Africa to occupy space in this genocide, suicide, homicide place called America. We are masters of weaving in and out of systemic racial injustice. We are paralegals, paraprofessionals, captains, sergeants, corporals, privates, criminals. You know, son, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. And shout out to the Freedom Project. We'd like to thank you for believing that freedom was more than just a concept. We have been casualties and prisoners of war, and our casualties have still been counting. Millions of us died, and the CIA turned a blind eye when the cocaine was abundantly supplied, and millions of us died. Millions of us died. So now they call you tweaker, crackhead, dope fiend. But it was an epidemic. When the Karens started ODing on the heroin, it was an epidemic when the Karens started ODing on the heroin. We are housekeepers, housemaids, housing activists. We are lawyers, lenders, bankers. The butcher flame haters ignited our churches, ignited our houses. And then they colored those lines, those red lines, so that they could be safe. We are activists, socialism, activism, power to the people, poison in our system. We were disregarded when judiciary policies were written. We were disregarded when corporate policies were written. We are educators. We are artists. We are life coaches. We are fathers. We're disrespected and disregarded in corporate policies. And your company right now resembles slave trade operations. See, there's millions of us that are in the front line, a few in middle management. Executive and above, we make up less than 1%. We are doctors. We are daughters. We are nurses. We are accountants. We are clerks. And the earth's belly is filled. The earth's belly is filled with our men and our women, with our brothers and our sisters, with our ancestors, with our joy and our happiness. The earth's belly is filled. And we're exasperated. And we're exhausted. Please understand that this has got to end. So what we gonna do? We gonna disturb your peace. We gonna stomp on these streets. We gonna stomp on these burial grounds until you rewrite the bigotry that has bled us out. Well, good morning, America. We always been here, overlooked, overlooked. Good morning, America. We are the people. Good morning, America. Overutilized. Good morning, America. Thank you for finally waking up. We be the people. Thank you. I don't know. I could do one more. And as I'm here, I didn't have my microphone turned up, so I sounded real like smooth and whatnot. I didn't want to be smooth. anyway, but I'm here. Entangle your tips into my new growth. Let loose of all the roots of the images they said I should have. Part my massive mane, dig the comb into my scalp and scratch away the pain that was caused by the media's intimidation. See, I didn't fit into their GQL Esquire cosmopolitan manifestation. I need you to take your forefinger and dip it in Dax. Dip it in Dax and quench my soul and soothe my pores. See, this is the purest form of myself. I've been lost on model shelves. Revlon didn't build the new Babylon, blood, sweat, and locks did. And I'm going to take a stereo, cornrow of a brother misunderstood. This process is going to take us back. We're going to take our locks and link them into a mosure. We're going to take our strands and link them into a mosure. We're going to take our curls and link them into a mosure. Weave up a bridge, throw the continent over so we can pull, so we can step on blessed red soil where Niles await our rebirth. Village raise our future. Planting, twisting, and locking is the purest form. And we're going to chant and sing and bang on drums. Baby, we're going to chant and sing and bang on drums. We want everybody to know where our roots come from. My roots come from. I interrupt this wonderful poem with a few headlines. In California, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, Washington, and California have passed the anti-hair discrimination state law in 2019. In August, a federal judge in Texas blocked a school district from forcing a Black teenager to cut his dreadlocks, according to district's code of success. 80% of Black women in that survey say that they have changed their hair from their natural state to fit into the office. Celebrate your naps, your beads, your buckshot, your froze. Pot it straight, zigzag, crisscross those cornrows. Color them burgundy, blue, or magenta. Just as long as they could see your spiritual antennas. And my locks are not sinister, baby. They are an affirmation of me in this culture in which I was not conceived. And I represent each and every strand that I have given to this land. Make sure you put your hands on the dashboard, boy. I represent each and every strand that has given to this land. Look straight, don't look that cop in the eye, boy. I represent each and every blood-soaked strand that I gave to this land. Don't resist, don't talk back. Just keep your mind and your eyes on the prize. So as long as I have love to lose and bills to pay, as long as I walk on these grounds, I will have my pride on my chest and the culture as my crown. Plait it, twist it, lock it. Thank you. My name is Dujuana Sharese. Thank you for your time.
Wow. Wow. You just going to do our stage like that, huh? Oh my goodness. I mean, especially that first piece. Oh my goodness. We are ministers of mighty energy.
Yes. We give it.
Whew. Then you said, we tired of dying. So true. So true.
We ride, but we tired of dying. You know how we ride or die. We tired.
And then freedom was more than a concept. I mean, you just have tons of quotables. I could quote you all day. I mean, just love your. Always was a fan of your words. Love the hip hop in you. Love everything about you. Shit. What you got? Anything to say, Amir?
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm like, this Women History Month, and he think letting women talk. Let the women speak, brother. Let the women speak. First of all, sis, let me tell you something. Your new title is Smooth Guru.
Oh my God.
Smooth Guru. That is it the microphone or what? Like I need to buy one of those. You sound good. You was fired the whole time. The post on Facebook were lighting up. I was screaming in the background. Good thing nobody could hear me. I think I might have did a couple of cartwheels back there. That was fire. That was pure fire. And I'm going to go back to something James said earlier in the evening about the flavor of the voices here on when people speak. No two poets will ever sound the same. And thank God, because that was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you, James, for allowing me 2 seconds of time to speak to the sister here, the smooth guru. Go ahead, girl. You got that.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that.
Look, I know how to fall back. Oh man. I just, like I said, you're just a treasure. And tell the people, like, I know you have your own vlog or podcast. Tell the people about that and how they can support.
Okay. All right. So we have a podcast, both Rescue Poetics and myself. It is called Everything is a Story, because we all have stories to tell. Everybody, from the biggest person to the smallest pea to the embryo that may be growing inside of you, we all have stories. And the actual podcast is about the journey of one person from in their rites of passage, from breakup to breakthrough. We all go through transitions in life, right? Sometimes the transition takes us so far away from who we used to be to who we are now. God knows I don't want to be the person I was 10 years ago. I don't want to be the person I was 15 years ago. I gained that knowledge. And now this podcast is basically a forum for people to tell their stories so other people don't have to bump their heads like they do. So it's called Everything is a Story. You can stream it on Apple or Google or Spotify, wherever you choose to listen to the beautiful people speak, because we all have stories. So that's the podcast. I also have another thing coming up. Okay. So I'm also the creator and host of something called Art of Dating. I am actually marketing that right now. We are giving a sneak preview. Now, the Art of Dating is basically the dating game show with a remix. Okay. This is COVID, a time where we are supposed to be socially distancing, but we are making connections at the Art of Dating. Okay. We are making connections. And if anybody out there wants the Art of Dating to come to them, just let me know. It is a fun game. It's energetic. It's wonderful. Connections are made. Sometimes hookups are made, but we don't, we don't, disclaimer, we don't have anything to do with that. If you do, but you get married, let me know. I did a dating game. It was maybe about 10, 11 or so years ago. No, maybe not that long ago. It was not that long ago. But there's a little child that came about that particular dating game. When I had the venue, I opened it up and I used it not just for poetry, but I did music and I did shows exactly like this. So if you want to see the dating game, just see my page, Dujuana Sharese, on Facebook, and there's going to be a little sneak preview on Thursday.
Well, excuse me, sis, but I have a bone to pick right here. James and I want the newlywed game. or the happily married wed game. We don't want no daggone dating game, sis. What you got for us? We are
what?
married people, both of us, not to each other, but
Okay.
we like to have some fun too. What you got for us?
I will create that. I will go into the lab and I will create that and remix those games as well, so that it's here 2021 type of games opposed to 1975
I
games.
feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I appreciate that. Joanna, it's been a complete pleasure. Everything that you shared with us today was quite enjoyable. And I thank you. I thank you for gracing our stage when people speak.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
sis.
Blessings. Blessings.
Bye bye.